What up, family? So, as promised, I'm giving you your July reading. And I like to share my reading because I feel like what rises for me can be rising for you, can be rising for all of us. I'm not like this isolated, this is just my story, this is just my message. I feel like sometimes what comes up for me, you might be experiencing. And so I'm going to share that with you, even though I don't many people may feel like you should never share what messages are for you, but honestly, I'm someone that feels like I know what's mine and I know what's yours, and I'm okay with sharing some aspects of the messages for me without giving you like all of the details, because my work is mine. So like, for example, when I do a reading and I know that I'm supposed to do some kind of sacrifice or offering, those are mine. I won't necessarily tell you what I am offering on my end, but I am open to offering you suggestions for what you could do, how you could sacrifice, what you could give. So we could talk about that because you have my info. Hit me up. Let's begin. This is July reading. So as I mentioned in the short message before, I was asking questions about what do people need? What do we need? What are we carrying? What has us stuck? How can we move forward? And so I'm going to share my messages and then I'm going to give you your cards. So my cards were these, right? Simbi, Le Baron, Carnaval, Nanam, Bouclou, La Flambeau, and Dance. No, and Zombie. And then a card that jumped out for me was Dance. We're going to talk about that. Your cards were Les Morts, Deluge, and Mambo. So I'm going to move through these and then we'll talk about it. Let's breathe, yo. Let's breathe. Because I've been meditating on these for a couple of hours now. I've been writing, I've been reading, I've been sitting with it. And so the first card for me was this one, Simbi, right? Simbi is talking to me about unfulfilled dreams, being stuck, being stagnant, not moving forward, not finishing things, right? And so this card is that. So the questions are, what is keeping me stuck? What are the dreams that are feeling unfulfilled? What has me stagnant? What do I need to finish, right? I'll come back to that when I summarize. Then I got the card, Les Baron. Also, what I want to say is that my cards I pulled because this is my birthday in Ocha, my Santera birthday month. And so I really wanted to have some messages in addition to the ones that I'm getting, because I'm getting a lot of things. But I wanted something else, something extra to kind of help me meditate and move. So I got this message, Le Baron, which is death itself, right? And the messages here is that I need to smile. Fucking smile. Have fun. Things have not been easy. Things have been hard. I have been sad. I have been through some things, but I need to enjoy the pleasures of life. And also I'm being told by Les Barons that there's nothing stopping me. Nothing can stop my progress. But I need to not worry about the things that I need to get done. Yes, I need to finish some things and get things done, but I need to have fun. So thank you, Les Barons. I appreciate that. The next card I got was Carnaval. And in this card, it's very simple. The message here is don't hold back. I have given a lot. I give a lot. And be open to receiving and celebrate. Have fun. Ache. I could do that. I'm going to try to do that. The next card that I received was Nanan, Bouclou, La Flambeau. This is about my spiritual life, right? This is about my spiritual life. And this Loa, this God, is the Loa of spiritual fire. So what's burning within me? This message is about not being in a rush, like completing things in an orderly way. Sometimes I find that when I'm writing, I skip words. Like what I'm thinking is faster, moves at a faster rate than my hand can capture. And so I'm being called to slow down, but yes, take action. Take action, but be very present with how I'm moving. But that there's a fire in me that can't be put out, that won't be put out. Word. The last card in the reading for me is Zombie. This is about will. My will, this is about purpose, my will and purpose. And zombie, when we think of zombies, what do we think? When we think of a zombie, we think of what? Someone who is dead and moving without any real direction, right? Just kind of doing these things in like repetition, but with no purpose, with no will, with no direction, with no end in mind, right? When we think of a zombie, we think of someone dead. And so this message for me is to release that. Release what's dead inside of me, because I'm living, I'm alive, and I don't need to move kind of like on repeat, which is why this is an incredible year for me personally, because I have broken that thing that has me stuck and decided that I'm not going to teach this year, so that I can focus inwardly and practice more my spiritual art, my writing, completing my projects. And so it's that, shifting that. Yeah, I feel that deeply. And then the card that jumped out was Dance. And this is this like bridge between the life that I live, right? So I have two worlds that I navigate constantly. Well, more than that, right? I have maybe 3 worlds, or 4, or 100. But I have my spiritual life, and I have my everyday life. And in both lives, I take them very seriously, very seriously. And so this card, this Dance card, you see these, they look like Santeras to me, priestesses, right? They look like priestesses who are dancing. This card for me is telling me to dance, telling me to have fun, that I can be in both these worlds and find balance, right? I don't have to pick. And that's hard for me. That's really hard for me. Something that I need to work on is I can be everything all the time. And so I'm working on that. So that was my reading. Here's yours. Let's breathe. And yeah, take some of those messages that I received and apply them to yourself. Like, how is that true for you? I know how it's true for me, but how is it true? How is it true for you? How can you apply that, right? Your first card. Now remember, the questions are, what do you need? What are you carrying? What has you blocked, right? And so the first card that you receive is Les Morts. Les Morts. This is the dead. These are your ancestors. And this message is really, really direct. It's about what have you promised someone you lost, people you have lost. I know that when I have a death, it happens and it teaches me a lesson. How am I going to shift and change? And what am I offering my dead while I'm living? What am I promising? What is left to fulfill? You know, some people lose someone and they're like, you know, we use the expression life is short all the time. Life is short, life is not promised. But here, they're saying, you promised me something. You promised that you were going to change, that you were going to act, that you were going to finish it, that you were going to go for it, that you weren't going to settle, that you weren't going to repeat cycles. Allow what needs to die, and give birth to the things that you've promised. And also, you know, when I get a card around death, you know, this is speaking about ancestors. How are we honoring our ancestors? Do you light a candle? Do you have a glass of water? Hit me up, because I'd be happy to kind of like talk to you about what you could do, what you could give, you know, how you could begin to honor those you've lost. I'm here for that, right? The next card that you received was Deluge. Deluge. It's beautiful, right? Because you see the water. You see the water. And you also see, I don't know, that metal object looks like also like symbolizes like a ladder. This is about also sacrifice, right? Sacrifice is something, and not resisting the waves that are coming, you know, being open to it, paying attention to the signs that show up for you, that you're being called to make a sacrifice. This message for you in July is about sacrifice, offerings, giving. What are you willing to sacrifice so that you could have the thing that you want? I personally am here in Cuba sacrificing a lot for the things that I desire and deserve, right? So it's not enough to want something without giving anything. Think about that. What can you sacrifice? It's simple things. Mambo. Not Mambo the dance, Mambo the priestess, who's carrying this severed head and this sword in her hand, the head of a man. This is about releasing illusions. Like you're holding on to things that are just like a dream, that just live here, but you're not doing anything with this, with your hands. And so you're being called to make sacrifices, honor your dead. I believe that our dead hold the keys to our future. Like the past holds the key to our future. We should never, like Sankofa, we go back to the past for the things that we're bringing forth in the future, what we're creating. One of the things that my father has always instilled in me is this sense of, si no sabe de dónde viene, ¿cómo vas a saber para dónde vas? If you don't know where you come from, how will you know where you're headed? That to me has everything to do with just how I live, how I practice my art. It's all in honor of those who came before me and those who will come after me. And so we're being called in this month of July to really sit with the things that we want to create, how we want to move in the world, what we want to leave behind, how we want to be remembered. You know, a lot of us are stagnant, feeling blocked and unsure, and doubt our abilities. Not here. Here we're being told in July that our ancestors, our muertos, are with us all the time. Our spirit guides, our angels, our guardians, whatever we believe in, whatever you believe in, we walk with things. All of us, non-believers, believers, people of faith, we walk with things, with gifts, and we have to remember to honor them, to make sacrifices, and to tend to the things that are important to us. And so with that is the end of my reading, our reading for July. I hope that this month brings you clarity, prosperity, and love. Peace.